Hey guys, in this video I'm finally going to mod my Dreamcast. So the first thing we have to do is take it apart. Really simple. Next we gotta take out the GDMU drive. A few screws. There's one in the back down here. Now, the whole unit pops right out. Now we're going to put that to the side, is because we're not going to be needing that anymore. Let's move this out of the way. Next we're going to remove the power supply. So you just move that cable. There's a screw underneath. I'm going to put these items aside because we're never going to use these again, so we'll keep those as backup. Next. Report. Now you want to make sure you keep these screws away from the other ones because they are a little bit longer, so you don't want to mix them up. Then you can take this connector off and put it aside. We're gonna get rid of this. We don't need this anymore as well. What we're planning on doing. And then next is the motherboard. Alright, so that's everything. So, just to catch you up to speed, the plan is to paint the case black and put a Dreamcast signal in the lid here. Put lights and stuff for the symbol to grow orange, like this symbol here. We're going to relocate this somewhere. And for the reassembly part, I'll go over the steps and parts that I have to replace. So I'll be back. Alright guys, for the next part, what we're going to do is we're going to replace this battery. It tends to die and then you have to replace it with this. But what we're going to do is we're going to replace it with this battery holder that once the battery dies, you can just swap it out. Then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to change this orange LED to a green LED. And before we take that apart, if you look on the board, this pin here is connected to this, which is ground. This pin here is positive. So the way to determine on a LED, the longer leg is the positive and that's the negative. So, oops. So once we swap this in, we want to have the long leg on the left side that corresponds with that pin. Well, with that being said, let's start by removing this battery. And there we go. Just hit these little holes up. Okay. Now the next thing is to remove this LED. So kind of the same process. You put your finger behind it, heat it up, or I was going to say work it back and forth, but that guy just popped right out of there. So now I'm going to take our green LED, and like I said, you want the positive pin on where it'll say A. I don't know if you can see A. Oops. The A is on the left, K is on the right. So you want the long pin on that side. Have it flush. And we can just probably bend these legs just a little. Kind of hold it in place. See if that works. And probably be smart to drop a little bit of flux. There and there. That's done. Make sure it's nice and secure. And we take the little clippers and just clip it off. And then what we can do is just come back and just do those little spots real quick. Make them nice. Now we want to get our banner thing, and you want to line this up. So 3 to 2. Want to kind of have it lined up like this. Have your finger on it for some pressure. Make sure they're in the holes. And you just kind of want to tap the holes, applying a little pressure from the back. As you can see, it snaps right in. This side is a little more, just a little pressure thing. Go around it, back side just a little more, so it's nice and flush. And then you just want to come back and just a little. Okay, looks nice. All right, that's done. Now, next, move on to that. Alright guys, for the next part of the video, what I did off camera was I spray painted the case black. I also added holes on the side. I'm going to add a fan on the side and a fan in the rear. And also what I did was I cut out the Dreamcast symbol into the lid of the disk drive, and also I cut a piece of plexiglass to fit within the slots of it so nothing can get inside, and it'll be a nice reflector for the next thing I'm going to do. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install 3 LEDs that are going to be orange inside where the lid goes. And to get good determined on the size of the LED, I got this drill gauge bit. So what I did is I found that the 3/16 is a perfect size for the LED, so it doesn't have too much slop. So my plan is to add an LED here, here and right where this little hole is. So I already got my bit and my drill, and I have a piece of wood on my desk so I don't accidentally drill through the desk. And I'm just gonna kind of just do it real quick. Right, there we go. There's our holes drilled. Probably clean this up just a little with a small file. Get the little pieces, and if anything, I have more spray paint, then I can just kind of hit up these little holes where you can see the actual console color. Yeah, that's for this step. The next one is to install the LEDs into the top case and start putting this thing together. Alright, alright guys, in this part of the video, I'm going to super glue this piece of plexiglass to the inside lid of the Dreamcast disk drive. So I'm just going to apply glue around all the parts that it's going to make contact with, making sure I get the swirl. I'm just doing a small bead because I don't want it to bleed through. I already made a notch here for the disc cover, so I'll just slap that in. And then what I got is 2 pieces of small plywood that I am going to put into the center. And I got these clamps, then I'm going to clamp down on it. Seems like I need a little more clamps. I'll be back. Just trying to get all the points of contact so it actually sticks. Well, I can always come back, but that should be good for now. On to the next part. Alright guys, in this part of the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire up the LEDs. So I have my LED and I have my resistor right here. So I'm going to solder the resistor to the positive terminal. And remember, the positive terminal is the long one and the short one's negative. So I got my clippers here and I'm going to clip it to where that break point is. Alright. And then I'm going to take my resistor and I'm going to kind of match it up where I want it. And I'd say about there. So I'm going to just eyeball the resistor where I'm going to solder the part to. That's about good. So I'm going to put the LED in my little handy helper thing. And then the other side to the resistor. And I'm just going to match them up best I can. Okay. Add a little bit of flux to help flow the solder. Got my iron already heated up, and I'm just going to do a little drop. check that out. Oh, that's pretty good, as long as it's on there. Alright, 2 more to go. I'll be back. Alright guys, so I got my 3 LEDs wired up with the resistor. So what I'm going to do for safe measure is I got some heat shrink tubing, and I'm just going to kind of heat that over our resistor to protect it from shorts or anything. So I just cut small little pieces. Plus it'll tell us which side is positive besides the long lead on it. But it's better than tape. Tape tends to, over time, come undone. Okay. Now it's going to not be snug because the legs on this are really thin. But you know, you get it to where it just stays on, and you should be okay. You don't want to overcook it either. You might burn the LED. Plus you can use a heat gun, but I got a lighter. So, alright, so the next step is to get this into the case. Alright guys, the next step is what I did is I dropped in the pre-soldered and heat-shrinked LEDs into the holes, so I have an idea where they're going. And I took some wire and I just kind of pre-trimmed them and cut them kind of to size where I think what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run all these wires to the right side, which is the left side of the Dreamcast. I know you can't see, I'm not going to flip it over, but that's where the power supply sits. So I got all these wires, and I'm going to just kind of mock up real quick to see that they're going to go from each LED. This one the shortest, which power supply is going to be there, and then I'm going to tie all these wires together per LED. So the long one's going to be the back, the medium sized one is going to be on the left side, and the short one's going to be on the right. And then after I get all those, this is going to tie everything together into one. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll take, it doesn't matter which LED, but after you wire it, that's the side. So I've got my LEDs here, and then we'll start out with the, I guess, the shortest one, right? So like I said, I already trimmed these. And just a little heat shrink on this. Okay, and two more. Yeah, you get the idea. I'll bring you back when I'm. All right, so I got everything all wired up. So the next thing I plan on doing is taking the fan that I have that I was going to put in here, and I have an extra one. I'm just going to probably cut the wire in about half, because we're going to use this connection to power it. Alright, once that's done, then just put them all in place. Before to do that, I realized that I'm going to have to cut a little slit in here for the wire to fit, so I'm just going to grab my cutters. There we go. So again, the longest one goes in the back. I'm going to feed that into that slit I just made. And we're going to tie all this down with a little hot glue just to keep everything nice and flush. Alright. Much better. Alright, on to the next step. I'll bring you... Alright guys, before I continue with the mod, maybe I should tell you what my plans are modding this Dreamcast. Well, the first thing is a GDMU. You play games, it replaces the optical drive, and you play games off an SD card. The second thing I'm modding to it, or adding to it, is this Dream PSU. Replaces the power supply, which usually tends to get hot. And the other thing is a Noctua Fan. That's for the exhaust fan here. And I got a kit to mount it and everything. So, you know, everything you can find online. But, so the first thing to do is this fan. Oh, also, you know, I'm putting these fans on the side of the case as well. But I say first, let's do this. Now remember, the tag part is where the air is coming from. So when you see it like this, that means it's blowing in. Alright, so let's do this fan real quick. Alright, so I'm going to have the wire running down because it mounts like this. So I'm using one of their screws that was included with the fan. Not the kit, but the actual Noctua fan. Little feet to hold it in place, which is nice. So it's nice and snug. Now I'm going to run the wire down and around. So what's good is it reuses the same hardware from the old fan. Oh, this one's going to be a little tricky. I guess you can't put that in yet because it's blocking the hole. Great. Well, don't make my mistake. Bracket in first. Then fan. Duty noted. Alright, so we already did the battery mod LED. I have a rechargeable battery. I'll do that afterward. We need to start getting this thing back together. So next is going to be the GDMU. So there's 3 screws to hold it in. One that's a long one and the other one. Now what's good is those screws, besides the one that's longer, are just reused when you took this off. So I'll just start these screws in now. Alright, so I just manipulated that tag lip and I slid it underneath, so now it's really nice and tucked away. NTSC card back in. Power supply. Real simple. It just pops in where the old pin, and then one of the screws that hold the old power supply just holds that guy right in place. Alright, so, well, and this plugs in here. That plugs right in the back. Come on. Like so. Alright, so now for these fans, we're gonna get our case here. Now you'll see why I took one of the fan connectors. Now they're actually pretty nice of them. They supplied two 12 and two 5 volt rails. So the two fans are going to run off the 212, and this is going to run off one of the 5s. So that's why I did it, so you can just do a quick connect. Now it's really going to be a pain getting these fans in. And you got to remember, these are going to be intake fans, so they have to be facing this way, not that way. That's exhaust. You can just sit like that. Well, turn the wire up. We're gonna hot glue these bad boys in place. So we'll start with the side one first. Alright, you can see our handy dandy hot glue gun. Now you probably can't see with the light. Alright, so I'm going to try to hold this down. Let's see. This way, because I don't need all this wire. But I do want it hidden. Like that. Like that. Probably like that. Alright. Now you're going to move this out of the way. Alright, so a little bit more around. The sides. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that back. I don't think it's that important. Let me dry. Oh, nope. Not gonna happen. I can get the sides. Alright, so I'm gonna let that dry, and I'll bring you back and get the other one. Alright, so that dried pretty nice. So let's get this other one. So remember, out. Because it's going to be our intake. Oops. And we're going to have our wire facing down, because we're going to see if we can chase that one. again, we're going to do the same thing. Just going to stand it up. As far as we can, and just kind of hit those sides. Oh, gotta go around. And again, it's gonna have to dry, so I'll bring you back when that's done, and we can reroute these wires. All right, so I'd say it's mostly dry. So let's just route these wires and kind of do the same thing, and with some hot glue. Alright, I think we're done with the glue gun. We're ready to put this thing back together. The only other thing left is the lid, so I guess we'll go grab that. So I'll pause it here and come back and we can finish. Alright guys, we've got our lid, so let's start putting this back together. Then you want to get your door piece. Make sure you lock it in with the spring. Like that. Then there's a little hole on the door. You have to get this little hook. Oh, it's hard to see. Right in there. And you can just kind of slide that right in. Alright, that's one side. And get this other side in. Locked in the hole. Alright, now we get our lid on. Now, because we have the fan, they gave us a new ejection switch or whatever dealing. So normally it would be the white one, and this would go here, and that would allow you to open. It's all because the fan upgrade. So what we got to do is we got to slide. I think it's this way. Yeah, this guy in like this. Oops. It would help if I put it in the right way. There we go. Am I not doing this right? No, I am not. There we go, like that. It would probably help if I put it in right side up. Alright, so we get our screws. Let me just go back right into the case slot. Alright, and then we got our little spring. And apparently I put it in backward. Alright guys, apparently I didn't have it in backward. It was just something with my spring, so now I got it to work. Opens and closes. Okay, so next thing is this little light, illuminated light thingy. Alright. I forgot to put our power switch back on, so let's do that before we forget. Next, we got the GDMU SD card expansion bank. Now, this is one of the older ones. There's like newer ones that are better. So this is how this one looks. I think it looks pretty good. That's all in. Now we're going to take our extension cable and just slot it in the back. Pull the cable, and this kind of Alright, so now don't forget our reset button. Now we can take our extension cable and plug it right in. They nicely gave us a rubber band to keep the cable kind of together. But before we do that, we're gonna put in our new rechargeable ML2032. Pop that guy in. Then while we have this down, we're going to take our LEDs and plug that into the 5 volts on the power supply board. Now we're going to take our 2 fans and plug those in to the 12 volt rails. Push those down. Okay, and then we'll just, I guess, kind of, and we'll just tuck the ribbon cable in. Probably the easiest. All right. Last but not least, slap on the bottom, and here we are. Oh, let's put in our SD card. Nice, locks in. All right, let me set everything up and I'll bring you back and show you this puppy in action. All right, guys, I kind of cheated, and off camera I turned it on, and I wasn't happy with the LED placement. It was very dull, so I kind of went ahead and added a little more. So turned it on, and as you can see, it still works. So what I did is I just went ahead and I added a total of 7. So we have 6 plus the 1. Before we only had the 3. So I think it looks a hell of a lot better, especially with the light off. I know you can't really tell, but it was much dimmer. This is a lot brighter, and I kind of like that green power LED. And I had to turn down the fans on the side and the back because they sounded like jet engines, but these fans are just sucking in. And you got the one that we put in, and then we're good to go. And then GDMU is up and running. With all my games, I gotta figure out. Some don't have images, but no, it all works. And just put on one of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, they could be a little bit brighter, but I didn't want super bright because RGB LEDs are super bright, and this, it's not too bad. Illuminates it nice. So yeah, that's it for the end of the video. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.